Joining me now to discuss former National Press Secretary for the Trump campaign, Hogan Gidley, and former Georgia Congressman Doug Collins. Doug, I'm seeing this happen. I couldn't believe my eyes. People didn't think it was going to happen this morning. Where do we go from here? What does this precedent set, and what do you think McCarthy's thinking?
It's a stun, really, Carl. I mean, this has never happened. I mean, this has been brought up. It's never happened in this way. McCarthy, I think, knew this was happening. I think he knew it was coming, and probably as early as this morning, knew the votes were not going to be there. I think they held out hope that some might change, but we're in uncharted territory here. You know, this is where the yellow brick road ends, because there is no path here, because it's never been done before. January we could look back on January when it took 15 votes to get McCarthy and say that was a walk in the park, because right now they have no path. McCarthy obviously right now does not seem to have a path. They don't know where they're at, so it's going to be interesting.
Hogan, let's talk about the political ramifications here, and we're going to have Dan Crenshaw joining us in just a moment. But the issue now, like I said, this is a shot across the bow of the status quo, no?
Yeah, and Doug's right. McCarthy doesn't have a plan, but I don't know that Matt Gaetz has one either. And it's pretty obvious here that Matt Gaetz was dissatisfied with the way this whole thing was going. What was interesting to me was, while they were at the well of the House and while they were making their claims and making their cases for their individual positions, Matt Gaetz brought receipts. And he said, look, here's what we were promised. We didn't get the speaker to follow through on those promises. He lied. He said that repeatedly. Whereas the people on the other side of the aisle said, hey, Speaker's a great guy. He's done a great job. Look at all these great bills he's passed. So it was kind of an interesting dynamic where Matt was saying we had certain things we needed to check off of our list, and those didn't happen. Now, you can like Matt Gaetz. You can like Speaker McCarthy. Either way, it's problematic for the party now because there is no plan moving forward. That's a serious issue that we need to figure out. We need to do so in a hurry and make sure that the good governance that Republicans can do will actually be accomplished.
Right. Hogan, Doug, I want to get you to stand by real quick. Joining me now, former National Press Secretary for the Trump campaign, Hogan Gidley, and former Georgia Congressman Doug Collins. Before I let you guys go, Doug, there was the talk of the shot across the bow, and we just heard from Congressman Dan Crenshaw. He's very critical of the fact that there is no real plan moving forward, but I'm still kind of on the fence that this is a good thing, because in the end, these types of fights make a Republican Party stronger out the other side, no?
It depends on if there's something that comes out of it good. I mean, again, this is a problem. Crenshaw makes it, Dan makes a great point. This is 8 people. And again, what is the plan? Here's the problem. I think McCarthy and others, and I said this when I was in Congress, and Hogan will agree with this, they should have started this process earlier. But remember, I have to bring up something. They tried to bring spending bills up in July, and they tanked one of their own spending bills. And so when you have 4 or 5 people who won't let a spending bill, just 2 weeks ago, 20 people voted against a rule to bring a spending bill forward. What's your negotiating point? What's your negotiating tactic? That's going to be the key coming forward here. Matt Gaetz has already said on the Capitol steps just a few minutes ago, he said that he would try to extract a promise from whoever is elected that they would bring the 12 bills to the floor, basically the same appropriation. Well, that's fine if you can get 218 votes. That's going to be the key going forward here. Otherwise, we are, frankly, lying to the American people as a party if we say things that we can't do.
Well, Hogan, let's talk about the Trump factor here, because I think what's at big play here is Republicans have found a new backbone. It may be 8, it may be 16 or 20 or whatever, but there is enough Republicans now with a backbone to say, no, we are not going to do the status quo. We're going to do things differently, and if I have to blow up the system, I'm going to do it. Is that good, bad, indifferent?
Well, they did that in the fight for the speakership on the front end in the first place, right? And so the win was the concessions that we've been talking about. The problem is as everyone's been pointing out here, Doug's right. Look, what's reality here? There are political realities that exist, meaning we don't control the Senate and we don't control the White House. We barely control the House. So it's problematic to get things through. Is it a situation where the speaker or the former speaker, McCarthy, says, hey, fine, you want to put these things up, let's put them up, they're going to go down. And once they fail, he brings everyone back into the room and says, all right, see, we tried it your way, it failed. Now let's work on actually getting some stuff done. I don't know. It just seems like it's very discombobulated here. And all the things that the hard right said they wanted in these arguments, it seems like, as Dan pointed out, Doug said, they torpedoed them themselves. Now, there may be other little underlying things there, but the people out across this country don't care about that at all. They don't care about the personal fights.
Right.
Donald Trump put out a truth a moment ago where he said, look, Republicans need to stop fighting, go after Joe Biden, focus on the economy, focus on the border, the things that matter to the people. That's where this thing needs to go. Let's quit bickering. Let's come to the best consensus we can come to under the current political realities that exist and try to get this country moving forward, putting those America First policies in place that 80% of the people in this country say they want and say they support.
Yeah, I got about 30 seconds left, Doug. We can put up that Trump truth again that we just had up. I mean, Donald Trump was like, hey, look, why are these Republicans always fighting amongst themselves? Look, during the McCarthy votes, we saw two Republicans grab each other by the face and almost come to blows on the House floor. Never have I seen that passion against a Democratic socialist bill. Why? I mean, Donald Trump is right. Why can't we come together, but under a new banner of actually doing what these people ran and were elected to do?
Well, and they need to start there, and then they need to finish to get something. And that's the problem we have right now. We're promising the perfect, and we're not willing to accept the excellent. This is a problem that we're going to have. And that doesn't mean you're compromising. It means you're realistic in what you're doing. Everybody does it in their business. Everybody does it in their own family. Congress has got to, the conservatives have got to stake out a solid agenda and then say, here's what we're going to do. Here's the victories we get. Until they do that, it's a problem.
Yeah. Hogan, Doug, appreciate the insight.
And we don't know.
Go ahead.
We don't know. We don't know because did McCarthy say, look, I'll bring these things up if and only if they're going to pass? Or did he say, I'll bring them up? We don't know these little details I think matter here.
Well, he did say he would bring up a number of things like a balanced budget and term limits and things like that. But I got to leave it right there, gentlemen. Hogan, Doug, appreciate it.